want. Look what I got. Is that a real? Yes, it is. You mean it's a real Star Trek phaser? No! It's a lightsaber. Oh, yeah, that's a light. Yeah, cool. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? No. No, I don't. Okay, just watch. That's really cool, Ned. I'm gonna go now. Bye. Welcome to Red's Effects Force Month, the same show that shoots at a room 3B on the Death Star. Oh, hey Luke. Wait. Hey, what? You're gonna blow up the... Okay, let me just get my... No, where are you going? Wait! Today, in the first episode... I'm gonna put this away. Today we're gonna be tackling one of the most classical Star Wars effects ever, probably the most classical. And now that I think about it, it's probably the most famous visual effect in history. Everyone has something with Star Wars. If you don't, you're a weirdo. No offense, but it's the truth. And that's the lightsaber. So that's thanks to quite a few of you. Not gonna mention all your names because I'd be here forever. But here you are. In order to complete this effect, there are 3 ways. You're thinking 3 ways? Only 2 ways. Well, one way is... Well, the first way is a really classical way of using a plane and just masking 4 or 5 points on the plane around your saber and keyframing that to move with your saber. We're not going to be doing that effect as it takes quite a lot of time. There are 2 other ways though. The most commonly used one is the light sword effect in Hitfilm. The problem with that though is that the effect is only in the pro versions, and if in order to acquire it in the express version, you either had to get it for free last year December when their Force Month was happening, or buy it in the add-on pack, and no one wants to buy things. Now I am going to be using the light sword effect for this tutorial, but if you don't have the light sword effect and you don't want to buy it, you can follow the steps using the third method, which is a really top secret thing. I was watching a few tutorials and after a while I just realized this could be done. I don't know if anyone else did. As far as I know, no one else realized this. If you did, well done, because you're really clever, which means I'm clever, which means I'm self-praising. Anyway, if you want to use that method, I'm going to show it in a quick effects segment that's coming right after this, so stay tuned for that. On the footage side of things, when you record your clips, you need to have the blade down, which means not extended and just have the hilt visible. That way you can add your own blade and keyframe the extension to make that sweet effect. For the rest of the time you can have your blade fully extended, doesn't matter. Now, I would suggest not having one of these type of things, because as you can see it's really thick at the core and then moves up, it gets really thin, and that's a pain in the ass to rotoscope. And that's what lightsaber effects are, rotoscoping. For days. Yeah, it's not a pretty sight. Unfortunately, that's the only way we can do it, so I would suggest finding your own way of making a simple straight stick instead of having just this weird contraption. It looks cool at the hilt, but the rest, it just doesn't work. But if that's all you have, like me, you can use it. I did use it, but if you look really carefully, you can see that the effect fails sometimes. And that's because it's so thick at the core and so thin at the top that you have to make your lightsaber super thick, and it looks really stupid. Just to cover the entire blade. Now each lightsaber effect has a signature look. The one I'm going to be showing is the light sword look, or the other look that you'll see soon. I'm hyping this up too much, aren't I? Compared to the classical look, they have a different look, and if you prefer the classical look, I'm not going to be doing a tutorial on that, but my buddy Jay over on the Hitfilm Sensei channel has a really good tutorial on that. Plug that in right there. The link is in the description, so go definitely check that out, because I would suggest that one above all the others. But if you don't want to use that one, you can use this one that I'm about to show now. So let's start off with the ignition shot first. Here I have my footage, and we're going to start by creating 2 point layers, one called hilt and the other tip. Then with your clip selected, click the plus icon next to tracker in the controls panel and move the boxes over the hilt of your prop, somewhere around the middle area. Now track forward till wherever you desire. If the tracker goes off at any point, just manually adjust those keyframes, it's not going to be too much. Okay, that's all done. Now just select your hilt point in the track window and hit apply. So the hilt is all tracked, but what about the tip? Well, we'll deal with that in just a bit. First, let's create the saber itself. Click the plus icon and create a plane, make it black and rename it to be lightsaber or whatever you want. Now here's the cool part. So if you have the light sword effect, just apply that to your plane, and that's what I'm gonna do. But here's a really cool free way to get the same effect. Roll the quick effects intro. Drop the lightning and electricity effect onto a black plane. Now in the controls panel, play around with the various settings like I'm doing to get rid of all the branches and make the lightning form a straight line. Now you can mess with the width and the color, and at the end of it, you'll have yourself a pretty sweet lightsaber effect for free. Okay, now that you have your lightsaber, you can mess with all the settings until you have a look that you like. Okay, here's mine. I've changed the core color to be a solid white, as well as messed with the thickness and core sizes, totally subjective to what you like. Now set the plane's blend mode to add. You can then parent the lightsaber's hilt position to your hilt point and zero it out. Then parent the tip's position to your tip point and move it to be in the correct position wherever that may be for you. You can also make slight modifications if it doesn't look 100% to you. Okay, now at the point that you want your lightsaber to appear, set the extension to 0 and turn on keyframing. Move forward 3 frames or so and set it back to 100. You can also add a lens flare at the ignition point like I did in the skit. I'd recommend trimming it to last about 2 frames though. Okay, moving on to our second shot. Here I have my lightsaber fully extended. Now just create a new black plane, copy the lightsaber effect from your last plane and paste it onto the new one. Now you may have to mess with the settings again to get the look that you want, so feel free to do that. This is where lightsabers become tedious, guys. What you want to do is turn on keyframing for your lightsaber's hilt and tip positions. Then go forward, say around 3 frames, and readjust them so that they stay over your blade. Then just repeat this process for the rest of your shot. I know, tedious as hell, but if you do it right, it looks amazing. So follow those steps and you should end up with something like this. And that's it, the first episode of Force Month off the slate. We still have laser blasters coming next week and another effect coming next week, which I won't reveal now, but rather the week after. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Social medias are over there. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode and I will see you next week.